This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of October 14th, 2024. We are indeed out of eclipse season, at least technically, but this week will make you wonder because this week does have a really big piece of cleanup work in the Aries-Libra eclipses that we have been through, which have been resetting our attitudes and agreements about relationships and pushing us more and more toward acting for ourselves, toward self-determination, towards self-actualization, and not worrying so much about what everybody else is doing. This week's Aries full moon continues that, but it also prolongs our experience of the full moon in the fiery, self-starting, aggressive, impulsive, risk-taking, Mars-ruled sign of Aries. This one, though, comes with added oomph, with both Mars and Pluto in a harsh aspect, in an uncomfortable, in a challenging aspect to the sun and the moon, making us feel immobilized, making us really, really sit and stew in all of the full moon dramas and passions and impulses. Now, things are going to happen. There are many, many aspects all week, but the bigger piece of release and action is probably a week away because of the moon being caught up in this grand cross with Mars and Pluto. Now, the beginning of the week may trick you. It may make you think, oh, this is going to be highly, highly active, because we do start with cosmic hands pushing against our shoulders saying, get to it. Somebody could really annoy you. Something could really, really motivate you to get moving and to act with more assertion than perhaps you normally do. There may be a really strong protective aspect to it as the sun squares Mars, the ruler of the moon. But before we get to the full moon, which is on the 17th, a series of events occur involving the sun's ruler, Venus. So Venus and Mars are in a weird kind of complicated interweaving with everything going on this week. Venus is making contact with the three outermost planets, which have been collaborating since the beginning of September. Pluto at the very end of Capricorn, now inching its way out of the sign. Neptune nearing the end of Pisces, and Uranus nearing the end of Taurus, which Venus rules. These three have been escalating news and revelations and developments having to do with long-standing corruption, infrastructure problems, ways that we've deluded ourselves, the whole issue of misinformation or fake information, news and events that shift the way we're looking at things, and everything has an air of last-minute cleanup, getting things in a different position, a different condition before we move on to new phases. Venus is joining in with their collaboration, bringing relationships and money and desires and creativity into the mix. And this starts with her opposing Uranus on the 14th, challenging us with perhaps something involving resources or a difference in values between you and another person, something that you want to break through, break out of, but the action isn't quite appropriate yet. And then she collaborates with easy flow of a trine with the other guardian of love and inspiration and creativity, Neptune, on the 15th, which could soften our experience of quite a number of things. This could be a moment of finding God in other people's eyes, or the sunset, or really just wanting to run off and go have happy hour with your pals, or more likely, someone you care deeply about. And then right after the moon is full, she's in an opportunity aspect with her counterpart in money and desire, Pluto, meeting for the last time like this before Pluto leaves Capricorn and enters Aquarius in November. So we have the opportunity to focus, to strip something away, to face something that we actually really, really want, that is monumentally important. And then after doing this three-part dance, Venus moves into Sagittarius, which will lighten the mood incredibly. Venus in Sagittarius is a good time gal. She inclines us to being optimistic, being exuberant, being jokesters, pranksters, finding the humor in things, running around outside, not wanting to be tied down. And this kicks off what's going to increasingly feel like a party season as Halloween gets closer and closer. However, while she's making this journey, the Aries full moon happens, and we find ourselves experiencing a heightened amount of frustration, a heightened amount of anger, a heightened amount of I'm gonna do it my way, damn it, and yet there's not really a release point. So energies are building and building and building and building, and we are gaining strength and courage, and if you like, daring do from this. You can think of it as we're all acting like superheroes, but not in the moment of unleashing our powers just yet. I keep seeing Linda Carter as Wonder Woman, twirling and twirling and twirling and twirling and twirling, and the lasso of truth probably isn't going to be unleashed for just yet. She probably isn't going to go after the evildoers just yet. This is really going to ramp women up because Chiron and Aries is in the mix. And one really strong probability of this is a lot of really, really fed up women deciding that they are going to take action. Whether there is a political overtone to this or not, something is going on in you, in your own life as well. And on the 19th and 20th, over the weekend, you will find your concept of yourself getting upended a bit, looking at something differently, having a lightning bolt, having a monkey wrench hit you upside the head, and you find yourself going, oh, I need to change this about me, or about the way I am going about things, or how I am interacting with other people, because the sun is in that Venus-ruled territory of Libra. So the sun is making adjustment aspects with Uranus on the 19th and with Neptune on the 20th, each of which have already been touched by Venus this week. So some kind of adaptation, new way of doing things, adjustment in your concept of yourself is coming. It probably has to do with how you relate to other people. You may have a moment of compassion for people you disagree with on the 20th. It is possible. You may see ways in which you've had magical thinking, or you have fooled yourself, and you adjust something coming out of that. Bottom line is, this week is bringing assertiveness training to everybody. Keep that in mind. Notice other people who are on the brink of being set off. Really watch your timing, if at all possible. And unfortunately, the Grand Cross is going to delay our actions and delay our really torquing off until next week. So you'll probably be handling this in a way that isn't going to leave scorched earth in your wake. If you have not been asserting yourself by the end of this week, you will have power and passion and moxie coursing through you, and you may wonder who in the world you are. This is the kind of energy that empowers, emboldens a pregnant woman to overturn a car to save a child trapped underneath it. Homing thought of the week: cool your jets. The time is coming. Song of the week: Wheels on Fire by Julie Driscoll, Brian Auger, and Trinity, which many of you will know as the theme song to Absolutely Fabulous. And the image of the week is a firefighter securing his safety gear at the scene before running into the conflagration. You'll learn more about this in my forecasts for the Aries full moon and the month of October, both of which are up at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 30 years' experience. I am doing a political astrology spirit talk podcast on Tuesday the 15th at 4 p.m. Eastern with Annette Dion on her YouTube channel. Look for the link below. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl. This week, my monthly Ask Me Almost Anything is at 6 o'clock on Wednesday. That's Eastern Time. And I'm really grateful to the people who support my work there. Also, I have a talk upcoming on Sunday the 27th about Pluto moving into Aquarius and what that has meant historically and for each of us this time around. It's by Zoom, sponsored by Body, Mind, and Soul in Houston. Look for the link for that below as well. I host the show Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio and TV on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern. I also host lively conversation on Facebook, on the page Empowerment Unlimited, and in the group the Astro-Insight Lounge. I post on Instagram and Threads at Kathy Biehl and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian channel. Talk to you next week.